right, it's the Three Wise Men. I'm Danny Holbrook alongside Miles Holliday and Nate Garlock, and it's a special edition of the Three Wise Men as we are broadcasting from the District 8 All-Star Game, the Boys and Girls Edition, here at the historic Elida Fieldhouse. Gentlemen, what a great weekend we had at the state tournament.
We did, and where else would you rather be than right here, right now, Danny? The talent in front of us for these two games is going to be outstanding.
It's unbelievable, Nate. I mean, we're seeing the best of the best.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've spent all season covering on the guys and the girls side, all these star players. We talk about how much talent we have here in Northwest Ohio and just in our own backyard, and then we get to come together for one night and we get to see it all on the same floor. It's incredible.
Well, we're going to keep some of the same format. I know we're at a different place for the Three Wise Men, but gentlemen, the Diamond Dave Bowen, best thing we saw all week, and the only place we've been in the last week's the state tournament.
State tournament was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So many things to talk about down there. Number one, did Northwest Ohio show up in a big way?
Oh, man.
The attendance for those big games were absolutely – I've never been in an environment, guys, absolutely amazing, where I'm sitting next to you and I can't hear you because it was so loud in there. Northwest Ohio, give yourselves a giant pat on the back because you showed up in a big way. Also, some of the best things we saw, DSJ, of course, winning the state title, right? How cool was that moment? 15.9 left. Coach Elwer calls a timeout, brings his guys together. They have that special moment where they all hug each other because the realization is that they're going to be the state champs after a long season. That was a fantastic moment. People talking about how much fun they had watching the King of the Court tournament. People coming up to us talking about that. People coming up to us and talking about how much they like the Three Wise Men. People just talking about how much they love Danny Holbrook and the Three Wise Men, Nate. It was a great weekend.
I don't know about that, Nate.
Danny Holbrook, Miles Holliday, and the other guy.
The other guy.
We let you sit with us. How about you, Nate?
Actually, Miles hit on what mine was, and it was the crowds in that Lima Senior game and then in that D7 championship game. With those two different arenas, we were at Wright State for the semifinal for Lima Senior. We're in UD Arena for the state championship game with Kalida and Delphus St. John's. And I'm telling you what, if you weren't there, even if you watched it on TV, if you listened to it on radio, it did not do it justice for being
right.
in those arenas. At Wright State, they were pulling the tarps off of seats that they had pulled back or they had tarped off just to try to get more people in there.
Say it.
Nothing says big event like tarp seats. Why are you tarping the seats? Come on, Wright State.
But they had standing room only. People were just trying to find a spot to be. They wanted to see that game. Lima showed up in a huge way for that one. Not the outcome the Spartans would have liked, obviously, but I'll tell you what, the support that they had during that game was phenomenal. And then the crowds from Kalida and Delphus St. John's filling UD Arena. At one point, fellas, we just looked around, and it all the way up to the top, maybe a few rows were empty at the very top of the arena. Other than that, it was completely filled. It makes those big games so much more special. And we got to see that because then you saw some games that came into both of those arenas that didn't have quite the attendance, and it didn't have that same feel. It wasn't that big game feel that we had in those other games. So shout out to all of the fan bases, to all of those communities who showed up, supported their guys down there in the Dayton area. It really made it for a special weekend.
Yeah, for me, guys, it wasn't just the crowds that came for their team. All the Northwest Ohio crowds, they stayed for each of those games.
Oh, they did.
The Lincoln View people, the Marion local people, they were in the Lima Senior crowd. The Lima Senior people, they were in the Delphus St. John's crowd. It was amazing, the people that came together to root for the Northwest Ohio teams. I don't care where you go. All over the state of Ohio, guys, the best basketball, the best football is in Northwest Ohio. I know people don't want to hear that from the Cincinnati area. I know people don't want to hear that in the Cleveland area. But all you got to do is show up here at a place like Elida for a district championship and see 4,000 people standing in line 2 hours before the game, and you understand what it means.
It means a lot in the pride that goes with it, not just for your school, but the whole Northwest Ohio community. What a special moment when the Lima senior team walked through, getting ready for their game, and the DSJ people, classy thing. All stood up, clapped for them, said good luck to you guys. That shows you how important basketball is as a community in Northwest Ohio.
Absolutely. Guys, we got a special Three Wise Men tonight. We're going to have some interviews for you. We're going to have the District 8 Girls All-Star Game, the District 8 Boys All-Star Game. We're going to have some listener or some viewer letters, right? Yeah. It's the last Three Wise Men of the 25-26 sports season, and we've got it all coming up next right here on WOSN. It's halftime here at the Alina Fieldhouse, and we are joined by Spencerville head coach Kevin Sensabaugh. Coach, we were just talking a few minutes ago, and I got to ask you this question. Why do all the coaches look relaxed now? Why is everybody smiling?
Yeah, right.
Why are they so nice to us? What's going on?
Yeah, isn't that easy? Like the games don't matter anymore. These All-Star games don't matter. So it's real easy. It was great coaching. Like I coached last year, and I didn't have to make any decisions.
Miles said he's never seen coaches with their legs crossed sitting back coaching a game.
Yeah, this is a whole lot easier. A little less stress than a regular season.
Well, Coach, looking around, congratulations on an awesome job of putting this together with you and some other guys. And you look at this crowd and you look at the talent we have on the floor. It's fantastic.
It really is. It was really neat to see it get put together, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the rest of this game, but the boys' game as well. It's going to be fun. And you know, there's quite a few people here. And
there is.
I think there's still more to come yet. Yeah, absolutely.
Coach, you're the president of District 8. How do you get that? Is it one of those that everybody, they lift you up and they carry you around and say, hey, you're the president? How does that come about?
Honestly, it comes about because not very many people want to do it.
You're not there and they vote for you?
And I was dumb enough to say, I'll do it, I suppose.
He won't miss a meeting again.
That's right. That's right. It is a lot of work, though. I mean, it really is. And it's, you know, there's a lot of weight to it, like, you know, because you feel like you can't make mistakes, because if you make a mistake, that's, you know, it's very difficult to justify that. But it was pretty stressful. There's for about a 3-week span, right during the, you know, towards the end of our season. You're putting together all this stuff and trying to make sure everything's right. And it was a challenge, that's for sure.
But that being said, though, this right here, that's got to put a huge smile on your face, doesn't it?
Sure.
Makes it worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I was really wondering if they were going to open up the second level up there, so I'm glad they had to.
I'm glad you didn't tarp them off.
Right. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm glad to see everybody here and enjoying themselves, and I hope that you know, with the rest of this game and then the boys' game, everybody that put on a good show. And the kids are doing a great job of competing. That's what we asked them to do beforehand. Like, let's make sure it's not, you know, the old District 8 games where everybody's chucking half-court shots and nobody's playing
out for dunks.
Yeah, I didn't want that. So that's partly why we changed the format, but it's really worked out because people actually want to come watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, falling in line with pretty much how every prediction I've made all season has went. I said we probably won't see a lot of defense, and I was wrong. I was wrong. The girls are playing great. We're seeing some good defense. We're seeing some great shots. And, you know, we talk all the time, and I mentioned it before, but, you know, everybody who's around high school sports in this area knows how lucky we are with the talent that we get to see week in and week out on the girls and boys side. And you know, you talk about you don't want to make mistakes and things like that, but just picking a roster has to be difficult because there's so much talent here on the floor, but there's a lot of talent that's not here.
Oh, sure.
We are so blessed with the athletes that we get to see week in and week out. It couldn't have made making the rosters very easy.
No, and you know, that's when everybody votes, it's very difficult. There's some close votes sometimes, and you're like, man, this kid could be playing in this game instead of, you know, it's just the way it is. But, you know, we are blessed. You're right. We have great kids that put in a lot of time and are very, very, very well coached by a lot of people in this area. And, you know, we have unbelievable coverage of all of our players too, which we're very fortunate to have the coverage that we have, you know, from what you guys do and all the radio stations and all the local media. And it's just, we're blessed to be in the area that we're in, and we know that, and we're very thankful. That's for sure.
Coach, another great season for you and the Bearcats, and it just seems like every year you guys continue to do great things over at Spencerville, and you got a lot of kids coming back next year that I'm excited about, that I'm sure you're excited about. What's the key, man? Is it just good kids? Is it good players, good community? I ask you that all the time, but I'm so intrigued by that.
I think one of the biggest things is continuity. You know, we've had the same coaching staff in junior high and high school, you know, minus a few changes here and there, but like pretty much the same coaches for a long time, so kids know what to expect. They know what they're going to get. I think that's a big part of it, but we have kids that have put a lot of time in and that continue to put time in, and that makes me look a lot smarter than I really am. So I appreciate that. I really do.
Well, Coach, we thank you so much for spending some time with us. Great job on the District 8. Great job with your kids, and as always, we look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Fellas, I was walking around a little bit. We talked about all the the people that we got coming out here, all the coaches, and I happened to run across one of the best coaches in the area. We got Coach White with us.
Absolutely, Dre White from the Bath Wildcats. Coach, how you doing? Hey, I said this to Coach Sensabaugh. All you coaches look relaxed. You're smiling and happy, like you're happy to talk to us. What's up?
Well, I'm pretty relaxed. There's going to be a lot of talent that I get to coach tonight, so I'm just trying to sit there and not mess anything up and let those guys do their thing. But yeah, no, it's exciting. It's this crowd is awesome, and to see the girls getting up and down, and the crowd still rolling in is pretty cool.
Hey, if you want to, during the game, the three of us will stand up and scream, "Put my kid in! Come on, Coach! Come on!"
I was talking to the Elida staff already. They said they were going to sit behind me and make it feel like a real game behind the bench. So, yeah.
Well, Coach, we'll get you out of here as quick as we can. Look, what another great season for you guys, and just a fantastic job you're doing out there, and a nice tournament run. I'm sure you wanted it to be longer, but regionals this year, what a great year.
Yeah, it was. It really was. I mean, to get to that point, I mean, the getting to the regional level, it's only the third time it's been done in our program history. So for our guys to experience that, not just our guys, but the program, the school, our community, to see the community up there at Bowling Green getting behind our guys, and really throughout our journey, we had some long trips on our tournament trail. We went over to Paulding and then up to Fremont to see our community, to support those guys, and the success that we had was a whole lot of fun.
All right, Coach, you had a great year, and you get to cap it off by coaching in this great event. Your roster, absolutely stacked, right?
No complaints.
I'm going to say if you had that roster, you probably win state, Coach.
Do you feel pressure that you guys got to win this? And then, two, it comes down to a last shot. Who are you picking to take it?
Yeah, tough decisions. That's why, got Coach Hammonds there as well, so I'll leave those decisions up to him. I mean, looking at the roster, no complaints from my end at all, and it should be a lot of fun.
Now, would we be remiss to say, if it is a last-second shot, you look at the other coaches and go, "Look, we're going to get the Markley kid involved."
Yeah, he could get downhill and create for some of those other guys, absolutely. But I mean, you just got to tip your hat to Coach Utenorf and Coach Boblet down there, and the guys that they had, helping put this event together. And this has been a long-standing tradition in our area, and a lot of really good players have played in this game. But there's been a lot more buzz, it seems, about for this one, and I think the crowd rolling in kind of shows that as well. So, I mean, those names on that list is a big reason why. And I think the other thing, there's so much success from the local teams this year, making really deep tournament runs, districts, regional, state, that's been a lot of fun, and this is just always a great way to kind of cap off the season.
Coach, we talked about Logan here just a little bit, and I want to give you a few minutes just to talk about Logan and his impact on your team and what he's meant to you guys, and then to be able to cap it all off and playing in this game here tonight.
He's an absolute warrior, and he's such a phenomenal human being as well. And we spoke about it a lot throughout the year, but he was beat up, and I don't know if he played one of our 27 games healthy. He came in, kind of beat up and bruised from football, and then first game of the year on this floor, he broke his nose and re-broke the nose, and then he missed a couple games due to a foot injury. So just for him to battle, and he never really complained about it. He always wanted to be game ready and out there with his guys, and there's the success that he had. One of, I believe, 5 guys to get to the 1,000-point mark for Bath boys basketball, and again, the where he got our program, to cap off his career, and just really special player, really special kid. Wish I had him for 2, 3, a lot more years. He's going to be definitely missed. But and I think the other thing, just talking with our guys as we close the season, our underclassmen respect him so much, and he left a heck of a foundation and a template for our guys to build on.
Well, you talked about him breaking his nose, and it seemed like he really had a love-hate relationship with that mask throughout the year. There was quite a few games where we'd see him started on, and it would come off very, very quickly.
He did really well with it at first, and then, we didn't really have a choice because I wanted it on to protect him as much as we could, obviously. And then, he played well with it, and then it started bothering him, and then at that point, I just kind of, wherever he was most comfortable. But it was on, it was off. I got to the point I didn't know which game he was. Who knows? But and then I think again he had so much other things going on. Mid-year when he went down with that foot injury, and but he definitely battled through it. And the way he way he finished the season, he really caught his stride there, when he came back from that injury. And, that was a big piece of our success.
Did you show him any footage of Rip Hamilton back in the day wearing it and say, hey, look, this guy was an all-star?
Yeah, absolutely. Him and LeBron in the mask and all those guys, he was definitely aware of that. So.
Well, Coach, we thank you so much for spending some time with us. We'll get you back down there. We know you're busy tonight, and best of luck.
Thank
and just play all the good players.
Yeah. Did you see that drop step?
Coach Gregory, probably tired of seeing that in your nightmares, aren't you, Coach?
I am so glad that she's Gregory. Let's see that, guys.
Coach Smart Gregory from the Crestview Lady Knights. Coach, thanks so much for stopping by. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, sure appreciate it, guys. I love being here and love talking basketball with you.
Absolutely. Let me start out. Congratulations on your award last weekend. 300
really cool.
wins. You look like you're 25 years old. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how you got 300 wins. You don't look old enough to have 300 wins.
I don't know where the 300 came in because I don't have 300 wins yet. I did not get 300 wins. That was the integrity award that I got last
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. So
we're all used to Danny being wrong.
No,
It's fine.
no.
It happens pretty regularly. We all just usually smile and nod through it and just go along
Here's
with
the thing. Chris Howe's down there, and I go, hey, make sure you tell Mark about 300 wins.
Are you throwing Chris Howe under the bus? All right.
Lima News, Chris Howe. Lima News.
Yeah, sportsmanship and integrity.
We can edit that all out.
That's what I got through. And guys, it was an amazing weekend because my daughter Callie was in the NAI National Championship, and so that day she had a game at 3:00. So we buzzed down. My family went down with me. We got to watch the first half of that first game there, and then basically got the award, and then we buzzed back to Fort Wayne and got back at 2:30 for the 3:00 game. So
correct me if I'm wrong. She went over 1,000 points this year. Also,
she did.
That's fantastic. Coach.
Yeah. But I think to her, more importantly, their team made the Elite Eight in the
really cool.
field of 64. Got beat by the two-time defending champion District defenders, and District ended up losing in the championship to Marion, who was in Callie's conference, and one of two losses they got this year was from St. Francis. So that's a pretty nice thing to have on their resume. But I think obviously as a sophomore, hopefully turn it into her junior year. Hopefully they can get back there again and make some waves out there. But that was a tremendous weekend last weekend, guys. I can't say enough about that. And
we know you're going to get 300 wins, so just hold on to that award.
Just hold on to it. And I got to talk to Chris about communication here.
Well, and Coach, and I, from watching your team from afar, and watching how you coach and how your girls play, the Sportsmanship and Integrity Award, it's got to be right up there and on par with any win you've had, regardless of how many wins you've gotten so far.
It means a lot, guys, and I didn't really understand the award a lot until basically our district puts me up or puts us up for that, and then basically it's the rest of the coaches that decide on that, and so when I found out that I was the only girls coach to get it, I was like, man, that's pretty special, and so you really don't think about those things, but it means a lot to be respected by the coaches in the state of Ohio and our district, but I mean even more that the rest of the state of Ohio feels that way as well. So very special, very cool. But again, I got great kids that play for us, and I got great coaching staff that means so much to me. Good friends, but they do such a good job for me as a coaching staff, and just very, very blessed.
Coach, what is it like to coach at a place like Crestview where basketball means so much? I mean, it doesn't matter win or lose. You guys are filling the gym for every boys and girls game.
It matters if you win or lose.
I love coming over there because it means so much.
Yeah, well, you know what Dave Bowen would say. I mean, Dave Bowen would say, well, it's because of me. I mean, come on.
Diamond Dave.
No, it is. It's a special place. And, I'm moved in from Mount Vernon, Ohio. So my wife kind of moved me back here, and so I didn't know what the rivalries with Lincoln View and Wayne Trace and all. I didn't know what all that meant, other than I came to some of those games. But it is a special place, and we've got so many great teachers and administrators over there, and it just makes things really, really nice when you got people that support you, back you, and it just funnels all the way down to the kids. And so we are very blessed. Yeah.
Have they built a tram yet from St. Francis to Convoy?
I'm telling you what, guys. I hope there's no cops listening to this, but yeah, there's some times when I get done with practice and it's like, hey guys, sorry, no questions for you. I'm out of here. Boom. Or you know what? Again, getting back to our kids. You know, we have practices at 6 o'clock in the morning on the nights that Callie has. She plays on Wednesday, and we don't have a game on Thursday. So again, thank you to my girls that are willing to do that. But you know, I think part of them's like, hey, listen, we get an hour and 15 practice. I get them donuts in the morning, or actually, Bill McCoy from MKS Sighting get some donuts, and then they don't have to do anything after school. I mean, they love
they
that.
go home, yeah.
But I appreciate them sincerely for allowing me to be able to get to Callie's games, because I don't. It would be really hard if I coached and wasn't able to make her games, because it's special, and there's a short period of time where you get the chance to do that. And I've been very blessed, and again, kudos to my kids and my girls for allowing us to do that, and also my family. My family's been so supportive throughout all the years of coaching with the boys and now with the girls, and very, very lucky.
Coach, who's got the better hair between your two friends, Jeremy Best and Dave Bowen?
Well, Dave's hair looks really good when he's got a hat on. No, guys, I'm gonna give you some insight here on Coach Best. I didn't know this about Coach Best, but Coach Best showers every night, okay? And he puts gel on before he goes to bed. He doesn't do his hair in the morning, guys. I mean, I'm thinking I may have to try that.
Comes in with a pillow.
I'm telling you, it's like I've never heard that. I was so impressed. So I gave you some tea here, guys. But you're going to have to ask Coach Best about this later.
Well, Coach, thanks so much. Congratulations on not winning 300 games. I don't know where that came from. All I know is Chris said, congratulate him on winning 300 games. He got an award. And I'm like, are you sure? And he said, yeah. So maybe he was setting me up. Well, he might have been setting me up.
Danny, he was a good sportsmanship about it, though, right?
Exactly. Always being a good sport. So, no, thanks, guys, for all
Absolutely.
Hey, you guys have no idea how much this community appreciates you and what you guys do. I mean, it's special, and we always feel special, especially when we make those deep runs for you guys to be there for us. So
even with Nate,
even the other guy that shows up.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate you.
Why would I not stick
That's
around
right,
when we get to
I
talk
was
to one of
saying.
my favorite guys?
Coach Brett Hammonds from the Lincoln View Lancers. Coach, how are you doing tonight? We got to get that fixed there. We'll get you taken care of.
Hold on, we got to introduce him properly. He's the Lyman News Dream Team Coach of the
Oh,
Year,
that's
Brett
right.
Hammonds, and the
Thank
state
you.
semifinalist Lincoln View Lancers head coach.
That's right. Coach, how you doing tonight? You look. I said this to all the coaches. You look relaxed. Like you look happy.
I try to be. I try to be. It's enjoyable to be here. Haven't been here for a while, so just excited to be here. It's a great night. A lot of fans are here to watch some pretty good basketball with a lot of good players out here. So,
Coach, what a great run you guys had this year. And I got to ask you, was there anybody left in town for that game? Because I think you brought everybody. I said to these guys, the Collide of the Delphos St. John's, Lincoln, the crowds were incredible.
yeah, I mean, we brought a lot of fans, and like I said, I mean, that game at state, I mean, even when we're at regionals, our whole side was filled, and we had a lot of people there, and we had a lot of people excited, and a lot of people that wanted to come out and watch us, and we tried to do the best we could. But no, we brought them out, and that's a credit to our fans to be willing to come and watch us play.
Coach, just between us, nobody else listening, did you see this season coming?
He's already said no multiple times, but we'll give it to him.
No, I've said it before.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't, obviously. I mean, the season you guys had last year and the turnaround that you had with this team, what have you credited with being able to make this big of a jump this quick?
I credit our kids. We had a lot of guys returning, and, the one thing they've always done for me, they've worked hard. They don't care about their roles. They're extremely unselfish, and they just executed what we asked. And, we were undersized almost every single game, and at times that didn't seem to matter. But, we took care of the ball. We shot it well from outside, and we just executed it. And it's a credit to them. Wanting to go out on a high note. Those seniors, as I've told people, only had 13 wins their freshman, sophomore, and junior year. So to get 22 their senior year was something special to them. And, I think when we started getting wins and seeing the joy on their faces, they just wanted to keep winning. And we kept finding ways. It's not like we blew people out all the time. We had a lot of close battles. And, it just gave them confidence. But credit those kids. I mean, it's all they're doing. Just their commitment to our team, to our program, their buy-in, and I mean, I think that's what led to it. I didn't know if we'd lead it to what we actually accomplished, getting to the state semifinals, but just credit to them. That's a big part of it.
You know, Brett, after your last game against Marion Local, one of my biggest takeaways in the post-game press conference, and I don't even know if you know about this, but we were talking to Marion Local, and Braden Mesher said, we kind of came out and we expected Lincolnview to hit, but they hit us twice as hard as they anticipated you hitting them. Do you guys kind of take any solace in the fact that, you really even snuck up on one of the best teams in the state on the last day of the year for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, and I'll admit this too. I mean, I think film doesn't quite tell everything when you see teams. I know we're not the biggest, but we got some strong guys. Holden, who's 5'7", put together, lifts every day. Gavin's a strong kid. We have other kids that are as well, and that's one thing we got to do is be physical with teams and not let ourselves get pushed around. And I thought we did that. And credit our guys. Max has drove in a couple times and put his shoulder into people to knock them off their spot. So, I mean, we play with kind of a physical edge and, give our kids credit for wanting to do that and for them wanting to get in the weight room and make themselves stronger, too.
And that's an exciting sophomore class you got coming. I mean, obviously Marshall played a big role this year.
Freshman.
Well, they're going to be sophomores the next time they step on the court. You got to get used to that, man. They're not freshmen anymore.
Agreed.
But you got Marshall coming back. Obviously, he started this year. And then you kind of had to throw Emeren into duty in that last game, and he did a great job against those Marion Local kids. Just how excited are you for the group that's coming back?
Pretty excited. I thought Marshall did a great job jumping from junior high, up to the high school level and just kept getting better and better. And, we had to throw Emeren in there. It was unfortunate that Xander got hurt in the third quarter in our regional final game. You never want to see that happen, but we were trying to figure things out with our roles, and we knew how big and long Marion Local was. And, the last meaningful minutes Emeren gave us was in our district final game against Gibsonburg. And for him to give us 13 minutes and do what he did, that's a huge credit to him. I mean, you're a freshman getting thrown in a state semifinal game, and, he battled. He made some good passes. He finished well. So, a lot of excitement about that group and the growth they're going to have for the next couple of years.
Well, Coach, thank you so much. We got to wrap this one up here, but congratulations on a great season. Real proud of you guys. I'm looking forward to much more in the coming years.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys having me up here.
Absolutely.
Good talking with you.
Yeah, thank you. Coach Brett Hammonds from the Lincolnview Lancers. We're back here at the Elida Fieldhouse, getting ready to start the boys District 8 All-Star game, and we are joined by Brooklyn Kester from Ottoville High School. How you doing today?
Good.
Well, thanks so much for spending some time with us. Let me ask you this. What does it mean to get selected to play in a game like this? Because there was a lot of talent down there.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely an honor. It's super fun to play with all those talented girls, too. So, yeah.
Is it tough to figure out if this game's going to be played with a lot of intensity or it's going to be fun? How do you navigate that?
Yeah, definitely. We kind of talked before, we wanted to make it competitive. So kind of going in, just play hard, see what happens, and show off kind of the talent that everybody has.
I noticed you weren't a little bit shy. I mean, you had an open shot. You were taking it today.
Yeah.
It's the only way to be the MVP, Miles. You got to shoot, right?
Yep.
So what's it like when you're out there, with these other girls? You're on a floor with a bunch of other girls who are the leaders of their team. Mm-hmm. And then you're playing in a game like this and, trying to adjust the way that you play or, being the leader of the leaders. What's that like?
Yeah, it's kind of fun. At first, it's hard. You want to gel with the team. But I thought our team did a really good job of moving the ball, and we just had fun, played together. So, yeah.
Brooklyn, you guys have continued success at Ottoville. Every year, you guys are one of the top teams in Northwest Ohio. Is it just good players, good coaching? You have a great community. What's the secret over in Ottoville?
I think it's just the culture, that winning culture. It's been established since, the first time they went to state. And it's kind of just keeps on that tradition. It's kind of an expectation to keep getting better every year and keep it being a good team every single year. So, yeah, it's super cool to be a part of it and just continue to work hard and, let the younger kids look up to us as well and hopefully keep the tradition going.
Yeah, that was my next question. Being an older girl, do you enjoy the fact that those kids watch you and you're a leader and you take that, responsible?
Yeah, for sure. We, our whole team is like that. are super involved with the younger kids too, so it's super fun to kind of see them watch us, get excited for us, and then eventually us be able to watch them be successful too.
Now, what's to say about basketball and how crazy it is in Northwest Ohio with all these people for an All-Star game?
Yeah.
Pretty exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, super cool.
Got any favorite memories from this year that you'll always remember?
Definitely going to state. That was such a fun, like, first off, the regional final game, you know, getting to state.
That was a good one.
You know, just winning that game with my team and then that celebration and then going to state and getting to spend that weekend with them. Definitely didn't end how we wanted it to, but we're kind of blessed. We get to come back next year with our entire team back, and we'll be hungry for it again. So, yeah.
You know, and you talked about your entire team coming back, and that's a rare thing. Not a lot of teams that make it as far as you guys do get all those pieces back. Now that the District 8 All-Star game is behind you and you get a chance to kind of take a breath and you start looking for next season, what's that like knowing that there's going to be expectations? People are going to be looking at you guys and thinking you're going to be one of the best and making that repeat, trying to, you know, own those expectations, but then making sure that you and your teammates are ready for that.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just, you know, trusting each other, trusting that, you know, we're all going to work hard this off season. That's kind of the biggest thing. It starts there. And yeah, like we even talked about this year, we knew going in with no seniors, but we were like, no, like this is our year, you know, and we need to get better. So we're just going to keep getting better and trust each other, and we know we can do the same thing again.
Well, Brooklyn, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Best of
thank
luck
you.
next year. We enjoy watching you play and looking forward to many more big wins for Ottoville.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Brooklyn Kester from Ottoville High School. Welcome back into the Alida Fieldhouse. We are now joined by Cory Deart from Liberty Benton. And Cory, I just want to say this. This is the first time I got to see you play this year. Wow. You are seriously talented.
Thank you.
I watched your game out there, and I looked at these guys, and I go, are you watching this? She's stepping out and knocking down threes. She's in the paint, and here you are, a Division I athlete.
Yeah.
And it's I feel terrible. I didn't know that.
No, it's
but
totally
I'm
fine.
telling you, you deserve it. You're
Thank
really
you.
good.
Thank you so
I'm being
much.
fanboy right now.
you know, so Cory, I had an opportunity earlier in the season. I called your guys' game against Ottawa Glandorf, and you are a matchup nightmare for any team. Your ability to play inside, to shoot that three-pointer, teams have to scheme to find ways to just slow you down. What's it like knowing every night that you go out onto the floor, you're going to be the focal point of another team's defense?
It's a little bit of a like pressure thing, but I know I have my teammates. This year we were really good with scoring. Like we'd have games where all 5 starters could score double digits. So I had to rely on my teammates sometimes getting double teamed, face guard and stuff like that. But my teammates would always step up. So that's how I deal with that.
Got to ask, the fundamentals in the low post, the drop step, keeping the ball high, the finish, quick, no wasted motion. Who's worked with you? Because that's fantastic.
Yeah, so I would say my dad has probably put a basketball in my hand ever since I've been like 1 year old. Like I've been always playing basketball, always, and it's huge. Like with him, fundamentals, the footwork, shot form, everything.
Yeah, no wasted motion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do they got? You listed at 6'1", 6'2", right?
Yeah, 6'2".
Okay, I got to ask you, inside, outside, what do you like? Because you look really comfortable knocking down threes, and you're a matchup nightmare out there.
Well, I really like shooting, obviously, as you can tell. I like being on the perimeter, but I'm always told I'm taller than everyone. I need to get inside more, but I'd say I like the perimeter.
So what is it about UT? You're heading there next year after your senior year. You know, what is it that drew you to be a Rocket?
Well, so my family's from there. My mom went to school there, so did my grandma. Both of my sisters went to Toledo. And, like, Coach Ginny has just been recruiting me really heavily, and their entire program is just so amazing. Even, like, Pat, their senior, got interviewed, and she said Toledo, she had P4 schools recruiting her, and she said Toledo was where she wanted to be. And it's just such an amazing place, and I love it. I can't wait to be there.
Coach Ginny brings the energy every single day, doesn't she?
Yeah,
She's a
she
special
does.
lady. Look, I live 5 minutes from Savage Arena. Free tickets headed my way.
Oh, for sure.
I like that. What are you going to study at Toledo?
Early childhood education.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Well, Cory, congratulations, and thank you for coming up and talking to us. And again, you're a phenomenal player, and I can't wait to watch you next year at Liberty Benton.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Go Rockets.
Yes. TOL.
Cory Deart, we're going to step aside one final time here before the boys District 8 All-Star game starts. You're watching high school basketball on WOSA. We are now joined by Keith Utenorf. Keith, thanks for spending some time with us.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me on here.
Look, we've been talking about it all night. huge success. All you got to do is look at this crowd. Keith, I've never seen a District 8 All-Star game this packed. Well, this is amazing.
Yeah, we were wondering because when Elida had that top section out, I'm like, I know we had a pretty good crowd last year, but I didn't know if we'd need all 3 sections. And I'm like, wow, I guess we do.
Smart move not tarping seats, too, by the way.
We learned very quickly.
Keith, how long does something like this take to plan? When do you guys start on this? Tell me the process.
Obviously, this is voted on by our district coaches at all levels. Obviously, the participants are from any of the divisions. So our coaches do that vote kind of about, I'd say, early February, mid-February. And then all that starts to develop as the tournament season gets around. And then all those votes are tabulated, and then we collect all of them. And it's just kind of a process there at the end of the year, and I think it's a great reflection of our talent here in the district.
You guys did a great job. The atmosphere is fantastic. The price point at $5, family friendly, right? Do you kind of wish it wasn't 10 or 15 now?
Well, I know this. I know they talk about Marion Locals 50-50 drawing in football, right?
Yeah.
I just took our money from one end of the floor to the other, and I do think I might need an armed escort out of here. I don't know.
Nate, you can do this.
Yeah, that's right.
When I saw a bill that had 3 digits in it, I'm like, I don't know what's happening, guys, but this is pretty good.
Well, Keith, obviously, you at the end of this year, you called it a career on the basketball floor. Congratulations on a great career, outstanding job at all the schools you represented.
Yeah, I've been at a lot of places. I was at Lipsick as an assistant when I was 20 years old and just got into college.
Just a couple years ago, right?
Just a few years ago, right? And then I got to learn under Coach Fro and Coach Baggs at Van Wert as an assistant there. And then obviously at Fort Jennings and Ottoville, I was just blessed to be a part of great communities that had great support and kids that were willing to buy in. So I'm really happy and proud of everything that our kids accomplished. And I can't be more proud of our kids the last 9 years at Ottoville specifically, just the effort that they put in, and I am indebted to them for the rest of my life. And that's what I said to them when we left each year as seniors, that you've got an advocate for the rest of your life. I'll do anything for you no matter what. And that's never going to change. So,
Coach, let me ask you about this game. A couple of years ago, you guys changed the format a little bit, and it went from being a senior-only thing to open to everybody. And because of that change, it's led to a game like we have here tonight, where we know how much talent we have in this area, and you get to showcase it across all grade levels, and it has made for this environment that we see tonight. What led to that change? And it's obviously something that you guys have got to be happy that you did.
Yeah, we feel like it's been a positive change. Obviously, anytime you have change, there is a little bit of work through. Last year was a little bit of a different atmosphere and feel. It was new. I think, it's always typically been a senior-driven thing. And when we changed that, there was some rumblings a little bit that it just wasn't the same. But I think the product on the floor had to be kind of adjusted a little bit. Nothing against all of our senior classes. We have great talent no matter what at each grade level. But to have the best players in our district compete and create an environment like this, we talk to each group each year. Right before they go out, hey guys, look up. And that's what we were able to do tonight. Look up in the stands right now. There's a lot of people here that want to see what your talent level is and you to go show it. Please guard somebody, at least attempt to. And this is kind of the byproduct of it. But it's a credit to the coaches that are involved in this. Of all our programs, it's obviously the coaches that are helping with the All-Star games tonight, and then obviously the players buying into something.
Coach, you brought up please guard someone, but there's a guy out here on the floor. It doesn't matter if you guard him. His shooting ability against anything. Cam Elwer, where's he rank in your career? One of the best shooters you've ever seen, or what?
Yeah, so I got to play against Jamar Butler, and obviously I think really just from obviously a shooting distance standpoint, just from a lethal, you cannot give him any space. He reminds me of Jamar a lot. Honestly,
Hang on, Coach. We're going to take a break, and we're going to keep you here. We're going to step aside, and we'll be right back right after these messages. Back here at the Elida Fieldhouse with 14:56 to go. Still joined by Coach Keith Utenorf. Coach, finish up your sentence. Sorry to interrupt you, but we got to get those breaks in.
Yeah, absolutely, no. I think he's up there with anybody that I've seen, honestly. Yeah. Cam Elwer is so impressive. I made a really stupid mistake the other morning or the afternoon with you guys and said maybe this is the first time Cam Elwer's ever been an underdog. No. This is kind of egg on my face. But
he's got 28 right now.
I think he heard you.
It's the Ottoville Delphus St. John's thing, I think.
Well, Coach, let me ask you this. How will you fill your Friday and Saturday nights and Tuesday nights, and what's going to be that thing that gets you through the winter days?
Those, I don't know. I've never been a beach goer, but I think my wife is probably going to convince me to do some things like that. I don't know if I'll be able to. But I do think I can't. The game has been a part of my life since I was a player at OG, and obviously all the way through now. If I'm not a part of that, I don't know what I'll do. So I don't know. I'm going to go watch some games and have some freedom to go do some stuff. Maybe I can jibber jabber on some networks or something. I don't know.
See, Miles, he's making a play. He's going to be right here in one of these chairs.
Coach, schedule's full. Sorry.
I appreciate it. I know. I hear you.
Well, Coach, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. Best of luck in whatever you decide to do. And congratulations on it. Just a home run here tonight's District 8 All-Star game.
Yeah, Coach Sensabaugh and Coach Boblet have been so instrumental in this, and I just want to thank them and all of our coaches in our association.
Keith Utenorf, thanks a lot, Coach. We appreciate it. Well, Coach, we appreciate you spending some time with us. And look, it became official last week. You're calling it a career at Pandora Gilboa. Now, are you done with basketball, or are you just done coaching?
Let's put it this way. It was a great run in the short time, but again, 7 years sometimes. But again, it was just good to have that particular opportunity to get after I had got out down at Minster for the 23 years before that. So anyway, great support, great community, but again, the ultimate question is, yes, what are you going to do? And as of right, I'm not actively searching.
No.
But ultimately, again, whether I'm an assistant on somebody's sideline, whether I do look into head, but I have not made that total decision
Well,
yet.
the reason I asked that was we had Keith over here earlier, and I said, Keith, what are you going to do? And he basically said the same thing. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Exactly. And yes, it will be different if I do step totally away from it, but again, I'm not going to, if that does happen, just like an evening of here, I'll be searching for those competitive games that take place on Friday and Saturday night.
Coach, your last run here at PG kids, we watch them, we love how they play. They play tough. What do we not know about PG kids that you learned about them coaching?
Well, I found out early that, again, they were very receptive to, again, when you start looking and maybe change some of the things first coming in. When I say change, a lot of that is just, again, what we try to do, but, from lower levels all the way through. You get the terminology straight through the program. But again, those, like you just mentioned and alluded to, hardworking kids, very cooperative.
Yep.
Again, I had very, very minimal issues in my 7 years, and that's a credit to every one of those kids.
We're talking about the talent that we see on the floor here. Obviously, you've been around basketball a really long time here in this area. Can you think of another time frame where we have had this much talent at one time in Northwest Ohio?
That's a great question. Yes, there have been some other years where, yes, there's been but not across the board. With all the divisions that we have and trying to keep track of which kids are in which division and so forth. But again, just like this evening, you've got it across the board. There's 16, 17 just tremendous basketball players that are just, their skill level is top notch. And again, great question, because you don't see this year in and year out.
Coach, you bring up the divisions, the many divisions in the state of Ohio, and it's been a hot topic for a few years. How do you feel about the move to 7 divisions?
Well, you just asked the wrong question. And
we went from a great question to the wrong question.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
as I lose my money.
Okay, we got about 15 minutes left here. So, no, again, I'm old school. Again, 4 divisions. You saw competitive basketball games, and I'm just going to point out just one portion of this, and that's come tournament time. There were games that were very, very competitive in a sectional semifinal. I'm not even talking a sectional final. So when your kids in your program got out of a sectional, if you got a sectional championship in division with 4 divisions, that meant a whole heck of a lot.
Right.
I can't say that with 7 divisions.
Who said that wasn't a good question, Dave? We got the real Coach Lee.
Coach, a couple years ago, you guys on this floor right here beat DSJ. Cam Elware, one of the few teams that did it in the tournament. When you prepared for a guy like Cam Elware back then, I know you had a super talented team with the Harris brothers, but how difficult was it to prepare for that team back then?
It's extremely difficult. There's not enough hours in the day. If you do as much of your homework as possible, but then it comes down to this, and again, what I think we beat Ottoville on a Tuesday. We turn around and we have just a couple days. I tried, again, this is, the old school. I tried not to overload your kids. Let them go out and do what they're supposed to do and try to keep things to a minimal so where their minds are just not overloaded. And eventually you just have to play the game.
Well, Coach, you look around here at this incredible crowd, and I told these guys have been coming to All-Star games for a lot of years, and I think they got the formula right.
No doubt, no doubt. And naturally it helps when you've got the talent level that you guys are observing here this evening. That's certainly a plus for the whole for the entire district.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Congratulations on a great career, and whatever you decide to do, Nate asked the right question. That's all.
Thanks so much, guys, and for the work that you do to get everybody covered in Northwest Ohio.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Coach. Welcome back into the Three Wise Men Lima Land. Danny Holbrook, Miles Holliday, Nate Garlock, broadcasting from the Elida Fieldhouse. Kind of a road trip, guys, right? A field trip, right?
Yeah,
field trip?
They let us out of the studio. It doesn't happen very often, but back-to-back weekends, they said it was okay to let us out in the general public. It's awesome.
I don't know if it's going to happen again, but it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we may have ruined it. You know what we're going to do? We're going to answer some viewer letters. Oh, we get letters. We get those letters every day. Mailman, mailman, mail today. Who went out and pick one today? Yay!
Yeah, that song is always awesome. I'm always so happy to hear it.
That's right. It's a great song, right? All right, Miles, what do you got, brother?
How about Mr. Approachable, Nate
Garland?
I know, right? Over there.
Hey, speaking of, did you see the kids down there signing autographs?
That was cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that was really cool. It was a little odd that there were 50-year-old men getting them, but yeah, it was still pretty cool.
Well, you were in the middle.
I was going to say, he was right. He was in line. I don't know if you know this. He was in line.
I got Megan Berkey. I got Megan Berkey's autograph. Like Danny said a couple weeks ago, yeah, you mean like you buying high school basketball cards? Yeah. I got you.
Yeah, like this one.
So we have 4 letters, and I want to thank everybody for all season, all year long, writing and corresponding with us, and hopefully we've done a good job. You guys have got some really good questions this year. Hopefully we've done a good job answering them for you. I'm going to pretend I'm a Gen Zer and read them off my phone here.
Can you see it?
I promise it won't be a wedding speech, a best man speech. Okay. I won't read it off my phone. But question number 1, how would you guys have resolved the Stryker versus Ottoville court situation that took place at Bluffton University? You guys remember this in the tournament trail.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, what would you do?
So here's what I would have done. If we're stopping the game, we're stopping everything for that night.
They did.
There's no games being played that night. We're going to clear the gym. We're going to fix the problem, and we'll come back.
Bring everybody back.
You're bringing everybody back for every game. We're not going to stop a game and then bring 2 games that night. There's no games being played for a 24-hour period. It gives the school time to fix some problems. And look, I know it's not the best solution, but I think it was better than what they did, and I'm not disrespecting what they did. They had to make a decision on the fly, and they felt like they were making the best decision. It's just not something I would have done.
It was a weird situation. Hottest day of the year so far. Sure. The air conditioning was not working at 100% capacity. It just was a weird thing. Nate, what'd you done?
Yeah, so it's a little bit easier in hindsight, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they were making a decision based on the information they had in that moment. So this isn't a knock on the decisions that were made. But they played 2 more games that night, which means you needed to give it a little bit more time. I'd have set a timeline on it. I'd have said 2 hours. I would have emptied the gym, allowed the humidity, all those things to clear out of the gym, see if we could have gotten the facility ready to play, everything dried, get it to be safe, sent the teams back into their locker rooms, pushed the start back of the last 2 games. If within that 2-hour time period we couldn't get the gym ready to go to play 3 more games that night, I would have done what Danny suggested. We would have pushed them back to the next day, all 3 games. It's not a great solution because ultimately, right, they pushed 1 game back.
Yeah.
The problem with that is you had 1 bus ride that was not nearly the same as another bus ride.
This is true.
It's a lot of moving pieces. Now, both teams had to deal with it. There's a lot of pros and cons, but starting and stopping a game is never ideal. Even if they'd have played that game 2 hours later, Miles, that was not going to be ideal for either team. The players would have been cooled down at that point, trying to get everybody warmed back up. There's a lot of other stuff that goes into it. It's a terrible situation all around. It's not an easy one.
Let me defend the people at Bluffton University. They did not want this to happen.
Absolutely not.
No.
Like I said, they made decisions based. They had no way to know that. I'm sure that has never, ever happened in the history of that facility, ever. That's the first time that they've had to deal with it. Now, I'm sure they'll learn from it. They'll have things in place to prevent it from happening again. Bluffton University wasn't trying to have this.
A couple things they could have done, in my estimation. Evan Skillett, our good friend, a professor Roundball, give him 2 mops. He was saddled with only 1 mop. Get him 2. He would have done a great job. Number 2, guys.
His nickname's the Midwestern Mopper. He's fantastic.
We've all played pool basketball. Just embrace it. Let it keep rising. Bring more water onto the floor. Just finish the game that way.
Lean into it.
Yeah.
Just take what they give you.
Without that one.
That's the dumbest one ever. That's the dumbest one ever.
The problem was it was really hot in there. So you let Nate come in, shoot baskets. It's going to get cool real quick. And the temperature drops.
Yeah, I've seen him shoot.
All right, question number 2. This is a tough one, fellas. Do you consider Cam Elward to be the best local basketball player of all time?
Oh, man.
Wow. So I think he's fantastic. I think he's going to go down as maybe the greatest player in the history of Delphos St. John's High School. He's a top 6 scorer in the state of Ohio. But no, I do not think he's the greatest high school player in this area. I think he's one in the conversation.
Yeah.
But I don't know how. Look, it's really everybody's preference. So it's what you like, it's what you don't like. But he is definitely, for me, in the conversation.
Now, Nate, what about you?
Yeah, this is such a hard question because it goes down to what you think the greatest is, right? If you're talking about, hey, look, let's look at stats, then maybe that is Cam to you because he finished as the all-time scorer in this area.
State.
Nobody's ever scored more than him in this area. He goes down in that. If you're not a stat person and you're looking at body of work, there's just so many things to go into it. I think that there is an argument to be made for probably about 5 players that he is very much in the conversation of to being that all-time great. I don't know that 20 years from now, when we're saying, hey, who's the greatest that's ever come out of this area, that it will be his name. But I'll tell you what, it's easy to make the argument that it could be, though, too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Mark Shine, Cam Elward, both in the prime. Who wins?
Cam Elward.
All right, question number 3, gentlemen. I'll answer this one first. What was your favorite game to call this year? Easy for me. I had the pleasure to call Crestview and Spencerville, the double overtime thriller at the Taj Mahal of basketball. And that game had it all: toughness, drama, intensity, buzzer beater. It was an amazing game. What about you guys?
For me, I'm going first so Danny doesn't take it, and it's actually a game that I called with him. It's the Lima Senior Winton Woods Regional Championship game. Also a double overtime game. 4- and 5-star prospects all over the floor, dunking, offense, defense. It was the atmosphere. It was by far the best game I got to call this season.
Okay, if I can't use that one, I have 2, and they both involve the same team. Delphos St. John's, Lima Central Catholic, an absolute slugfest.
Yep, that was a great
Incredible game.
It was.
And then Delphos St. John's, Spencerville, another slugfest, just back and forth. It's what we dream about when we get to call games, you know. We want games to be that way, and we were so lucky. But the Winton Woods Lima Senior game, we were both in awe. And that was the night I was sick, and I was just sitting back just watching, and Nate carried me the whole night.
I thought Josiah Stober did a nice job when you guys called that.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job. Thanks, Miles. Thank you.
Last question, guys. Nate, I think I know who wrote this, but I can't say. I love Danny, Miles, and the other guy.
We're just going to change the name of the show to that.
Danny, Miles, and the other guy.
It's all right. I'm cool with it.
Who is someone who you really wanted to get on the show this year as a guest, but couldn't make it happen or would want to get on for next year? This is a solid question right here. Danny, what about you?
For me, I want to get Coach Tim Goodwin from Marion Local on. I want to talk about that machine over there at Marion Local and how they do it and what their secrets are and things like that. I've talked to Coach Goodwin before, but never in depth. I'd like to just talk about football and get his philosophy of life and kids and school and things like that.
You know, had they been able to win the state title in football and basketball, basketball this year. They would have been the 6th school in history to do that.
Yeah, that's incredible. They did it back in 2018. They would have been repeating the feat. It would have been awesome. St. Henry threw a big monkey wrench in that. So that was
Do you
great.
ever wonder why
to see.
Nate doesn't like you?
But listen, guys, look, a little bit behind. Pull back the curtain a little bit behind the scenes of Danny, Miles, and the other guys' show. I don't do a lot of the lining up of our guests, right? That usually falls on Miles and you guys. You guys have a great reach out into all of these teams and know these coaches a lot better than I do. And you guys do a fantastic job of lining up these guests, the coaches, and the players. And I got to be honest with you, I don't know that there's anybody that I would be like, oh, I wish we could have gotten these people on. We got on so many good coaches and so many good players from around the area. We got to celebrate so many kids and so many accomplishments across all different types of sports, not just football and basketball. It was such a great year to be able to just celebrate these kids and their accomplishments and these coaches and what they do for these young people in our area. And, they're so gracious with their time. They have to come on a Monday night at 6:30. Sometimes we get a little long-winded. I know that'll surprise a lot of people who know us. We tend to talk a little bit. To give up their evenings to come to the station, to sit down with us and let us, be idiots with them and have to ask the tough questions like Miles' Random 5 and all these other things. And, there isn't anybody that I wish we could have got on because I'm just so happy with the group that we did get.
I will say this, the graciousness of people that say they'll come on the show and they work with us on it, it's fantastic. It's a special group of schools that we deal with and special group of people that come on. I absolutely look forward to every single interview we ever have. Looking forward to season 3 of the Three Wise Men. It's going to be a lot of fun with Danny, Miles, and the other guy. I can't wait till we rebrand the show. It's going to be fantastic.
You know what? I can't wait. Listen, you guys make fun. It's going to be a lot easier to market the other guy than it is you two guys, all right? I'm going to have shirts that say the other guy.
Guys,
it'll be fine.
How about, before we go to break, how about the couple from Delphos St. John's we got to meet at the state tournament who just loves the show, and they talked about they have their dinner every Tuesday night, they wait for the show, and they're so excited. It was special.
But to answer the question, though, one guy that I'd love to get, our good friend from OG, Colin White.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to get him on. What a journey he's had at Ohio State his first 2 years. Hopefully that everything continues the trajectory of having a great college career.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to wrap up this special episode of the Three Wise Men. Welcome back to the Three Wise Men. Danny Holbrook, Miles Holliday, Nate Garlock, and guys, what a terrific year this year for the Three Wise Men, for WSN football, basketball season. It doesn't get much better than this, guys.
No, and I think we ended it in a great way. All the coaches and players that came and visited with us, getting to watch the game here tonight. Look, it was another great season. This is year 2 of getting a chance to do this on WSN with you guys and our entire crew, and it was fantastic. It's going to be a long summer, guys, and I'm going to miss you guys till August.
I agree with you on that, Nate. What a great second season. Danny, Miles, and the other guy, season 3, right around the corner. It's going to be great. What a great exclamation mark, though, on our season. This event was spectacular. Was it not?
Yeah, it was.
Not as spectacular as Jacob, Kelsey, Megan, and Nick, though, back at the station.
Fantastic.
They do the stuff behind the scenes. The Three Wise Men is so much fun. It's such a great family.
Yeah, and we thank you, Lima Land, for joining us each and every week. We appreciate you. We appreciate your support. We love coming into your living rooms each and every week, and we're going to do it bigger and better next year. And thank you so much, Lima Land. You have been watching the Three Wise Men.